All right, so let's get going. Here is obviously the tractor has some parts removed already. Again, this is not a step-by-step slideshow, but I'll walk you through some of the things that were done here. As you can see here, where you engage the PTO, that plate has been removed, and you'll be able to look inside right there. That's the view you get. You can see the input shaft on the top there. The shaft below that is engages the PTO. This is from the other side. This is the plate where the dipstick for the transmission is located. That's what you see from that angle. This is the top cover of the three-point lift, obviously without the seat attached. And when you remove all those bolts, this is what you will see. Again, there is the top of the main shaft going back to the differential, and this is the hydraulic pump when it is removed at the bottom. As you can see, there was a lot of water, a lot of muck. The camera, I mean, this is actually after some of the cleaning we already did. The pictures don't do it justice. There was quite a bit of sludge and water. You can see in this picture that white slimy stuff that's kind of oozing out. That is probably at least an inch thick, and it was very hard at the bottom. We spent hours cleaning. This will give you a pretty good idea. Just that pump alone was pretty hard. That is the drain plug on the pump. It was just completely full of muck, and yes, that is water that settled down to the bottom. This is the hub that you're looking at. I already have the nut removed, and obviously the drum. I put the nut back on, only a few threads, and this is the reason why I do that, and this is a safety tip. When these axles are tapered and the hub is tapered too, and it is basically pressed on, and you do need a puller, you will need heat, you will need a hammer and some help. Coming up here, you'll see me with the hammer. There I am. Yes, a 3 jaw puller would probably work better here, but this got the job done. And when it's all off, that's what it looks like. That is the seal. There's a close-up shot of the seal that fail quite often on these 8 ends. This is the bearing retainer. You see those things that look like gaskets? Those are actually metal. They're not technically gaskets, they are shims. There's another look at them. And that is how you set the bearing preload. And I'll show you a little later what I was talking about there. But that is what you see after everything is removed. That is the axle and the bearing, the roller bearing. And you see that one little piece there. That's actually a leather seal right up against that bearing. Here is the old hub. And as I said before, the sludge and the gunk was so bad, I just went and go ahead, we're going to tear the whole thing apart, basically just to clean. So the axle housing is now removed. That is your differential or your ring and pinion, just laying there. It will pull out easily. It is very heavy. There it is, all cleaned up naturally. Really good shape. Here is the inside of the axle housing. You can see your bearing race there, and a good time to check that out. This tractor, the bearings were pretty good, so we used them all over again. Those on the left, that's a new pin for the lift arms of the 3-point hitch, and then that smaller hole off to the right got a new bushing in there. That is for the shaft of your brake pedal, so you don't have any slop in your brake pedal. These are the axle housings all cleaned up. Notice the shiny part, you have to have that, so the shims and the gaskets and everything will be good. And this is basically what doesn't get any more naked than this. It's down to the bare housing there. This is your top part of the transmission, your gear shifter, and when you remove that, that is what you see. These gears were in really good shape. Once you got them all cleaned up, and it shifts great, so no problem there. This is the underside of the gear shift here. You hear a lot of times people say they jump out of gear and whatnot. You can replace the whole shifter lever, and that might help you. Here is everything's starting to come back together. We got the backing plate on, the new seals. This is where I was talking about the bearing preload. You can do it a more crude way. It's in your manual, but using a dial indicator will get you really accurate. It's quite a hard thing to explain on with pictures, but you don't want any more than 6 thousandths play, and you don't want any less than 2. And I had it at 4, so I was happy with that. And now we got the new brake pads coming on, the new seals. I used the springs and everything over. They were fine. And there it is all together. It's ready for the new hub. Yes, I did put new hubs. I highly recommend this. These hubs are known for coming loose through the years and getting a wobbly, and it will ruin the seal right away. So I always like to put new hubs on. There's the nut, and that is that shiny ring there. You put that around so the nut does not come loose. These nuts are tightened down to 400 foot-pounds. They're on there very hard. But there's another angle of everything that's new. Got the new felt on the right there to keep the dust out. And there's the drums. These are not new drums. I painted them. But you can buy pretty much anything if you need new. There's the new shiny bolts that hold the drum on. This is the Pto shaft. I forgot to mention that you do have to remove this shaft to get the pump out of the bottom. The shaft goes through the hydraulic pump. This is what it looks like from the inside of the tractor. You can see the roller bearing. There's 2 snap rings that hold this bearing in. One in the front, one in the back. They can be removed, and that's what happens. It'll come right out. There's the old seal that's going to be replaced. The old seal is on the left, the new one is on the right. You can see the size difference there. In this picture, you can kind of see the one snap ring at the top there. You can see the gap that holds that in. And with everything removed, there's what the housing looks like. And now it's starting to come back together. Got the new seal in there, and that's all done. This is the top part of the 3-point. I put a new sleeve where the piston rides in. You see those bluish greenish pieces there. Those are new gaskets. And that's another picture of the sleeve. The 3 holes that you see there on the left, the center hole is where the oil is forced up and pushes the piston. Speaking of the piston, this is a new style piston. The original style has 3 rings. It looks very similar to a piston in an engine. That is a inside shot. There's no connecting rod. The rod just lays in there and gets pushed back and forth. There it is, all installed. When you're working with a lot of these reproduction parts, most of them are made overseas, and you could tell here I had to grind that square bolt down a little bit just so it would go down and be able to get tight. No big deal. But this is the pump. Notice it looks a lot cleaner than the last time we saw it. It took quite a while to get it clean, but it was worth the effort. Here's a different angle. And this next slide, you'll picture here, you see the one hole that doesn't have anything in it. That is for the relief valve, and at the top, that is the old relief valve. The new one is styled different, but they function the same. And there it is installed. Now this next view is, this is where the Pto shaft slides through the spline there. You can see, and notice that the hole is not centered. This kind of gives it a wobbling effect to be able to pump. It's a left to right or side to side pump action. I like to use a floor jack to just raise it. Not that it's real heavy, but it's just kind of awkward, and it's nice to have something there to support it. I use the engine hoist to raise the top half of the 3-point down. It's just a lot easier. You can do it by hand, but it's quite awkward, and it's got some weight to it. And you can see that rod from this angle that comes down. You have to line that up into the pump, and it's just really nice with this the engine hoist to go down real nice. And there's where that rod came down, and it goes into that little loophole right there in the pump. So you want to be careful that you get that connected. They do come disconnected from time to time. You hear a lot of people on the internet and everything complaining about that. But it's down now, and time to put the bolts in for there. I did replace all the components on the back there. You want to make sure that those are all nice and tight and not slopping. It will only affect the performance of your lift. And there's what it looks like all back together. I got all new lift arms and chains and you know, the whole 9 yards. Even the arm on the right, the adjuster's new. There's another rear view. And if you notice the tires on it, they mismatch. These actually came from another tractor, because when I got this tractor, the rims literally just crumbled when we moved it. They were just rotted out that bad. So I took these off of another Ford, a Ford 2N, and I put them on here just so I can move it around. And then naturally I had to buy new tires for the other Ford that they came off, and these are 12.4 by 28. They're Firestone. Really nice tire. Here's these are brand new rims. Just a caution out, there's a lot of rims out there, and if you see the ones here that have those dots, those are actually spot welds. These are the much better well-made ones than the ones that you see with just weld marks on the side. There, everything's mounted. Again, there's the size. These are super all traction Firestone 23-degree tread. There's what it looks like on the tractor. For those of you who have watched my videos before, yes, this is the tractor that I did the video on the engine rebuild. And stay tuned. This winter, this whole tractor from the engine back is going to get tore apart. But here's another picture of the 8N all together again.